That's right, we've got some brand new teases for post-launch content coming to Anthem. Hey everyone, what's up? Open World Games here, and let us begin. So let's dive straight in right now to the latest news, straight to that tease, shall we? So this was posted by Annie Wershing, who of course is the voice actress for Tassian in Anthem. She says this: having a blast, creating new scenes for you all Anthem gamers out there. And she actually puts mocap and much more. But it looks like all the voice actors and actresses are getting together and filming brand new scenes for Anthem going forward. So that's really cool. We'll be getting some new scenes with the characters. And it looks like new story additions going forward. So I'm super hyped for that. No release date on any of this, of course. So it looks like they have some work to do before we actually get to see this stuff. But I'm hyped to see that they're actually filming post-launch content concerning the actual characters we've seen in the story already. So that's cool to note. And I hope they dive a little bit more into the Corvus, by the way. It's good to see Tassian is in there as well, because I am really curious about the Corvus. I think they should really expand upon that. Now let's talk about more about this new content. So this is what Michael Gamble of Bioware says. He says this: continuously adding to the world is part of our commitment to you. So they are reassuring fans that yes, they are still hard at work on the post-launch content despite some of the issues with Anthem. Then remember, on March 12th, we will be getting a massive patch coming up here with over 300 fixes and changes, which will be addressing a lot of the issues in the game. So I am super hyped for that patch, by the way, because I think that game can make, the patch itself can make the game a lot better and a lot smoother. Now, a lot of you guys were asking, what's up with the inscriptions in the game? I hardly know really what's going on with them. So this was posted by AJ, community manager of Anthem, who says this: our combat team put together an awesome developer update on inscriptions and how they work in Anthem. This is worth checking out. And I will provide a link to all of the details about the inscriptions. It's basically a breakdown detailing every single little minute detail about these inscriptions and what's really going on with them. So you are no longer confused about this going forward. And I think they're going to actually have this post going on the official website. And it would also be nice to have this also available as like a codex in-game. So I hope they also consider doing that down the road. Now, let's talk about patch notes. This was the question right here. Tactica says this: you and Ben Irving made a great live stream. Info was constant. Great amount of info shared. Hope Colossus post-ultimate animation look received some love too. Have a link for the March 12th patch notes by any chance? Thank you. And this was the response from Jesse, community manager on Anthem, who says this: they aren't up yet, but patch notes will be here when they are live. So they are currently working on those patch notes. And also, I believe in the stream itself, they did say that the patch notes would be arriving right when the patch launches around March 12th. So I will definitely have the breakdown of everything regarding those patch notes. So be aware of that and look out for that video coming up. All right, so let's talk about legendary weapons, masterworks, and so on and so forth, and leveling issues going on. So this was the question from Eddie. He says, I need to know if our already owned masterwork and legendary stuff will go up in power level once the update drops. Please tell me they will. I have an amazing legendary Thousand Suns roll that I do not want to regrind for. Very good question. Makes sense. I've actually been asked this question out on Twitter as well and elsewhere. And the response was this from Jesse, who says this: they will. It's retroactive, so no worries there. They're going to be changing the power leveling for Masterworks, and I think it is the Legendary. So I think the Masterworks are 45, and they're going to be, I can't recall, I think 60-something going forward, and then they're going to be making further adjustments to the Legendaries as well. So that change is going to be rolling out on March 12th. Now, the gameplay you are seeing here is from one of my streams. Check out my streams. In the description below, I stream daily at fb.gg/openworldvideogames. Drop in, say hello. Would love for you guys to stop by. I plan on streaming today, actually. So, yeah, drop on by. I also have been streaming, the Division 2 open beta and stuff like that. I plan to stream the Division 2 as well. And then, we're going to be getting into brand new releases like Days Gone and stuff. So that's going to be cool to check those out, too. But anyway, let's talk about leveling issues as well. So, this was posted out on Reddit by the Big Element. He says this: Can we please just agree that the default weapon bug is probably one of the funniest and dumbest things we've seen in gaming? So he's referencing the Defender, how basically the Defender rifle is more powerful than everything else. And we're talking about level 1 as well, and it's a glitch, so it's definitely a glitch. Now the response was this right here from Celtics fan 34. He says this: at some point, I know you won't have the answer now. Can we get an explanation on what happened and how it was fixed? This feels a lot like a feature with unintended consequences rather than a typical bug, and I would feel better if I could understand what is actually going on when I'm shooting an enemy. Even after being told everything is fixed now, it probably won't feel that way if I don't understand it. Thanks for reading and addressing concerns in here. And the response was from Ben Irving of Bioware, who says this: the short version is we wanted you to have a good experience when unlocking a new Javelin. As a result, we did some things to the starter loot so you wouldn't be gimped at first. It ended up being a bad idea. Here we are. So they're going to be making adjustments to this going forward, and they admit that it wasn't the best idea as well. Now, there were further replies with this. So Capio says this: that skips over the heart of the problem this bug reveals. There should never be dynamic scaling in a build-based progression looter. Ever. It invalidates the core gameplay loop. Every single number and stat has to be real, not dynamically altered behind the scenes. And, you know, excellent points here all around. And the reply from Ben Irving says this: agree for in-game, disagree for leveling. Having it for leveling lets friends of any level play together. That's a huge barrier to entry for many people. So there is that response there, and the way that Bioware is basically thinking about things in terms of players leveling and, you know, being able to play together. They definitely still want players to be able to experience the game together. All right, so let's go ahead and go over some Masterwork and Grandmaster 2 and 3 questions here. So this was from the Fry guy, who says this: I've been able to deduce that you get 2 primary and 2 secondary inscriptions for Masterwork, and that slots 1 and 4 are primary, 2 and 3 are secondary, left to the right, top to the bottom. Is it possible to roll all 4 as major instead of minor, or do you get 1 of each guaranteed? Great question about that. And the response was from Darren of Bioware, who says this: deduction correct. It is not possible to roll all majors. So on your weapons, you're not going to be getting all major inscriptions. That's basically the gist of that. So don't expect that. That would possibly be OP. So it's kind of 50-50 with primary and secondary inscriptions going forward with your weapons. So just keep that in mind. Now, this was posted here by Kid Arc, who says this: consolidated Grandmaster 1, 2, and 3 changes the list. Now, Ben Irving of Bioware requested during the stream that he wanted to see what you guys would like to see changed and addressed for the Grandmaster difficulty. So you guys got busy here for sure. Now, I'm not going to read that whole thread. I'm going to read a reply to this, and then there's a further reply from Bioware. So this was the reply from Octavir, who says this: it's not just the loot, it's the difficulty scaling. Grandmaster 2 feels like it should be Grandmaster 4, as the spike in damage taken is so severe, as well as the sponginess of enemies. Mine Colossus is never in any damage in Grandmaster 1 strongholds. I can tank a turret and multiple Scar Hunters with 0 chance of death. 0. Grandmaster 2 feels like I'm back to playing a cover shooter as it gets shredded in the open. It's exactly like my first try at Grandmaster 1 without any Masterwork components, but this time I'm already in full Masterwork Legendary with 1 purple component due to the 75% armor inscription. There are no dramatic gear upgrades ahead for me. You need smoother scaling for 1 difficulty grade to the next. Edit. My first Reddit Platinum. Thank you, internet friend. Okay, so I wanted to comment real quick about that. You know, I do notice the higher you get up into Grandmasters that the enemies become absolute bullet sponges, and I guess the idea is to make sure that you work together as a team. So that does kind of make sense, but I do think that it's kind of a little bit ridiculous in some ways. So I prefer if they would just, you know, add different combat animations, attacks, variations for higher difficulties to really mix things up. I would really love to see that sort of thing in the future. But anyway, let's get to the reply here. From Ben Irving, who says this: initially we were scared it would be too easy. We need to review this. The challenge is scaling isn't linear. The synergies in gear and inscriptions makes this hard. We didn't want to give up the power fantasy, though. So, yeah, it's like, if you're trying it solo and you're facing an enemy solo in some of these higher difficulties, especially Grandmaster 3, the power fantasy can be like, well, it feels like many times you're trying to take cover a lot of the times, and the enemies are really bullet spongy. So let me know what you guys feel about this. A lot of my time currently is either in Grandmaster 1 or Grandmaster 2, just to be honest with you, because I don't feel Grandmaster 3 is even worth it anyway. And I feel like the core gameplay feels great at Grandmaster 1, especially considering my current gear level, because you're able to pull off combos, but also kind of finish off the enemies in a manner that's fitting, in a timely manner where it's not like you're just grinding constantly trying to take down their health. But going forward, let's keep going here. So some new changes to how you can access the mission screen here. So this was posted here by Viper123, who says this: spawn me near my javelin at login. And he goes on to say this: Bioware, please just spawn me at my javelin when I log in. There's never any purpose for me to start in that room every time. I need to waste 60 seconds of my life every single time I load up the game to run to my javelin. This is utter waste of time. It's frustrating enough having to walk and run around that place at such a slow pace. You don't need to make me do more of it. And the response was this from Ben Irving, who says this: in the March 12th patch, you can open up the mission screen from anywhere. This should help. So there you have it. Good news right there for sure. All right, guys, let's go over some top comments real quick. Remember to leave a comment down below. It could end up right here in a video. So let's do this. So Daniel Elliott says this: quick play. I don't care about joining mid-mission. I just want them to work. 10 quick plays, 2 I could finish, rest were bugged. So yeah, when I talked about the quick play fixes for Anthem going into the March 12th patch, I mentioned how, they're fixing things like, ending up mid-mission, stuff like that. But he did indicate that a lot of the fixes were on the side of crashes and making sure that the experience was smooth. So I'm thinking that, the 7 or 8 fixes, core fixes for the quick play stuff, are going to be related to what you're speaking about there. So let's cross our fingers that ends up happening here on March 12th. So yes, a lot of crash fixes going into the March 12th, patch, quality of life stuff. So yeah, I expect that to be addressed. So this is what Geezer says: bro, I'm so tired of fighting Titans. Can they add some more bosses to fight now? How is nobody saying this? Man, I totally agree. I just literally was talking to my brother about this. We just got done playing Anthem on stream, and I was like, dude, it would be so cool if they'd added. They need like variations of Titans that look wildly different from one another and have different attacks. Lightning Titans, Ice Titans, all sorts of different stuff, and I think that'd be cool. I would love to see faster moving giants as well. You never see that often in movies and elsewhere, but it would be really freaky to see like a giant that's able to crawl up canyons and up mountains and really work around the open world. That would be so freaking cool. But yeah, I totally agree. They need to definitely mix up the Titans going forward, and I'm hoping that they actually get to that at some point. Honestly, I really want to see a lot of the stuff that's updated in the free play. I think there's a lot of potential there in terms of adding new regions, weather types. They can add, deformation to the landscape, stuff like you see that Fortnite is doing. They have in Fortnite where an entire volcano just erupted. So can you imagine the possibilities? They can do that sort of thing in Anthem. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned here for more. I will be live streaming once again, so check that out in the description below. Hope you guys can drop on over and say hello. You can give your ideas about the game, what have you. Then also just sit and enjoy some Anthem action. And again, I will be streaming the Division 2 going forward, as well as some other cool games that are releasing. But guys, thanks for watching. I will see you later, and take care.